I don't like it. I more than don't like it. I hate it. No. I pretend that this doesn't exist so we can move on. We can totally move
Oh,
on.
yeah. From that part that didn't even happen.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What is your podcast about? Hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. You know me. I'll kill anybody, but I'll only sleep with someone I love. Baby, she's a slut, just like her mother.
Hey cuties, and welcome back to Horror Icon, your queer playground for all things scary, sexy, and stupid. I'm CryBaby, the spooky slut from your wettest nightmare, and we're joined today again by...
Donnie Sanciato, the kind of trans man you'd like to take home to meet your parents.
Hi, Donnie.
Hello.
How are you doing in all of this heat?
I'm absolutely miserable. Miserable. It's apparently 102 degrees in New York City right now.
Which it's funny because I'm being a desert baby. I'm used to 100 degrees, but it's like a swampy.
That's the thing. It's the humidity, because I lived in Arizona for a really long time. I'm accustomed to it being like 110, 112, but the air is so thick, I feel like you could go outside and climb it like a ladder.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love summertime because I grew up in the desert. And even if it is this hot, I'm okay with it if I don't have anything to do. That's the
Yeah, if I don't,
caveat.
exactly. If you don't have to leave the apartment, totally fine.
Yeah. Or if I don't have to be in a wig and makeup and a fucking dress and all this shit. So
What a day to do this.
indeed. But it's okay. We're cooking, we're moving forward. I'm really excited to talk about this movie today too.
Good, because I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it.
Yes, I have a lot of thoughts. But everybody, to our listeners, welcome back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is the obligatory like, subscribe, give us a follow, shoot us an email, rate us, all that stuff. Please help a podcast out. Help a queer baby podcast out, please. But seriously, we're continuing our foray through the Child's Play franchise, and we're going to be talking about Curse of Chucky today.
Curse of Chucky, the 6th movie in the franchise. And I don't want to give anything away before you give your recap.
Yes, we do have a CryBaby synopsis coming on up. Needless to say, everybody, spoiler warning, watch the movie, watch it, and then come back to us. CryBaby synopsis for Curse of Chucky. 9 years after our last unhinged adventure with Chucky, Tiffany, and their gender fluid murder baby, Gigi, we're suddenly dropped into a house full of people we don't recognize at all. Who are these people? Why are they so tense? And what do you mean, Curse of Chucky? And this mystery kicks off when a very familiar, suspiciously sized package arrives on the doorstep of a beautiful gothic home, full of secrets and terrible family vibes. And as they mourn the mysterious death of their mother, our family and their hot priest find themselves in the midst of a moody, broody, and fruity murder spree. One by one, the bodies drop as Nika, our heroine, begins to uncover a dark family secret, and Chucky reveals why, after 25 years, he's decided to go after this seemingly random ass family.
Well said. Well said. Moody, broody, and fruity. I'm here for it.
Moody, broody, and fruity, baby. Yeah, we kind of dip our toes back into a gothic tone, but significantly more grounded than Bride of Chucky gothic.
Oh, it's totally different. Like you said, it's a vast tonal shift from the last 2 movies that we have, been watching. So when I watched this again, because I know I watched it when it came out in 2013, but when I watched it again for the purpose of this podcast, I was surprised because I didn't really remember just how drastically it deviated from what we had just watched in Bride and Seed of Chucky. Going into that gothic style family drama thing was kind of an odd choice. What do you think?
I agree. I don't dislike it because I like just like playing with tone and perspective. Because for this movie, we leave the perspective of Chucky again, and we go back to the perspective of his victims, which it's interesting knowing what we know about Chucky now. And for the most part, I don't find myself bored with the premise because, like it was probably the same thing with like Child's Play 2 and 3. At this point, we know Chucky's alive. And so it's just kind of like waiting to get him back on our screen. Whereas with this one, of course, we know that Chucky's alive, but I'm more so curious about why the fuck we're here. Since we weren't around Chucky's perspective, that's what kept me engaged, is just being curious as to what does this family have to do with anything. So there's some good parts of that. There's some bad parts of that.
Yeah, you're right. For me, I was immediately thrilled when I saw the actress playing Nika, who is Fiona Dourif, which is just mind-bogglingly cool because she is obviously Brad Dourif's daughter.
Yes, yes. I love her. I have one thought. Unfortunately, kind of a big one, but it's true. I cannot get it out of my mind. I'll touch on that when we get into it. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna bitch the pot. I'm gonna throw out some fun little factoids, and you hit on one of them. This is when the franchise kind of starts to feel like a family kind of thing, because we have Fiona Dourif in this film, which is a wonderful addition. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful addition.
She is phenomenally talented. And, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm sure there are people who are going to say she only got the role because of nepotism. And I'm sure that played a part. But at the same time, she is the strongest part of this film.
Hands down. Hands down. And I think I could be incorrect. I'm going to fact check myself on this later, but I'm pretty sure Fiona was going to audition for Barb, the older sister, and they insisted that she went for Nika, which I think is pretty cool.
That's good.
And yeah, sure, nepotism, but this is one of those few situations where I'm okay with nepotism because this person does good work. It wasn't just handed to her for just meritless connections. She actually really did some wonderful work with this character.
I agree with you, yeah.
Some more fun facts. This film takes place 9 years after Seed of Chucky, which is the largest gap that we have between movies in this franchise to date. Did you know that Brad Dourif, speaking of just excellence, Brad Dourif recorded all of his lines in less than a day?
Wow, that is pretty amazing.
That's wild. I guess it makes sense because we don't really start to see Chucky talk until like 45 minutes into the movie.
That is true. I mean, I don't want to say he's not doing as much, but he's certainly not speaking as much as he has in the previous two movies, just because we spend so much time with the family instead of him. But still, to have nailed everything in one day or less than a day is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's super impressive. And this whole film was shot in 30 days too.
I did read that.
It kind of makes sense because this film had such a small budget. Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky both only had a budget of $5 million, which I know it's silly saying like only, but
Mhm.
for a film this ambitious or a franchise this ambitious, that's nothing. Especially considering the first film in the franchise had a $10 million budget, and that was back in the 80s. So it's really
Right.
like a spending value of like $20 million. So this movie was made essentially on a quarter of the budget of the first movie. And I have to give them props to that because you can't really tell in some there's some cases, but generally you can't really tell.
I would have had no idea that it was made on a budget of $5 million, which, like, again, to say only $5 million, like, I wish I had a budget of only $5 million. But at the same time, the movie is beautiful. It looks like it was, to me, made on a big Hollywood blockbuster budget.
It really does. And I just think that speaks volumes to Sweet Daddy Don Mancini's creative chops and the commitment of everybody. Like, he brings his people with him, and I respect that so much. And I think that loyalty and that quality of relationship leads to such a wonderful quality of work. So thank you, Daddy Don.
Thank you, Daddy Don. We love you.
We love you. Let's see. This is the longest film in the series as well.
What's the running time?
I realized I didn't write that down.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do a quick Google search. Let me see. Curse of Chucky runtime. An hour and 37 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're getting close to 2 hours there.
I think, yeah, as long as we're around an hour 30, I'm fine.
Yeah, anything more than that, unless it's Lord of the Rings, I'm going to lose interest.
Yes, and it's funny that you mentioned Lord of the Rings. I have a parallel to make later about Lord of the Rings and this movie.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, it's just really silly, stupid, petty stuff. But my last fun fact, and I wonder if this still rings true compared to the time it was written, but apparently Brad Dourif said that this was his favorite Chucky movie, which
Oh,
is
did he
interesting.
really? Huh. Yeah, I find that
Yeah,
interesting too.
this is just me hypothesizing here. It has to be because it's the film that introduces his daughter, right?
Yeah, he gets to
Like,
work with his daughter. How cool is that?
exactly. He gets to see his baby fucking kill it. Yes. Well, let's go ahead before we do our quick little plot breakdown. I'm going to talk about the characters real quick cuz this is a small cast. It's like a single location, small ensemble kind of movie, which I do like. So our characters, we already talked about Nika, who is played by Fiona Dourif. She's our main girl. She's paraplegic in a wheelchair living in this badass house with her mom. This, you know what, this is where I'm going to talk about one of my things with this movie, because there's two big things about this movie, and one of them, I fucking love Fiona Dourif. I think she is wonderful.
I think we both feel the same way about what it is you're about to say.
Yeah, I feel some type of way when we cast an able-bodied person in a role of somebody who uses a wheelchair or has some other disability, right? That for me is like, it's taking away an opportunity from somebody who already doesn't have a lot of opportunities in the industry. So that's honestly just like my biggest thing about this movie. As much as I love Fiona Dourif, I'm just like, why did this character have to be the one in the wheelchair? Like, why couldn't we also have somebody in a wheelchair who is an actor who is a real life wheelchair user, you know?
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's like you said, taking an opportunity away from a person who doesn't have a lot of opportunities as it is. And I'm
Mhm.
sure that there are so many people who do use wheelchairs out there who would have also slayed this role who didn't get the opportunity to even audition for it because,
Mm.
the opportunities don't really come their way.
Exactly. And I know that this is a big spoiler alert. Not in this movie, everybody. This is a spoiler alert for Cult of Chucky, so just keep that in mind. I've heard some people, the argument is like, well, we need somebody able bodied because eventually she does stand up. She gets out of the wheelchair. And
Mhm.
so I've heard arguments against casting somebody who's a wheelchair user for this role, but hello, there's people that are wheelchair users that are also still able to stand up. Like, it's not,
Absolutely.
I think that's a narrow perspective that a lot of people have. You have to cast an able-bodied person if you want this character in a wheelchair to be able to stand up. And it's like, no, you don't. There's plenty of people who can.
I'm going to totally nerd out right now and talk about Wicked on Broadway. There is the character of Nessa Rose, if you've seen the movie. I mean, you don't have to have seen the Broadway show to know what I'm talking about. The movie was such a
Mhm.
phenomenal hit. You've probably seen it. She is a wheelchair user. And the show has been on Broadway for over 20 years. And they have always cast an able bodied person to play this role because she does get up. She does stand and take a couple of steps in the show. Spoiler alert. And they only recently, as in the past, I guess, few months ago, if I'm remembering correctly, on Broadway, cast a woman who's an actual wheelchair user who does have the ability to stand and take a few steps. I mean, like you said, not everybody who uses a wheelchair is completely dependent upon it. Some folks are mobile and able to stand and do certain things. And it was just, 20 something years in the making. It took us that long to realize that, oh, you know what? Maybe we should cast this role the way that it's actually written. So
Mhm.
I agree with you, that this could have been a better choice.
Yes, I'm glad we're on the same page. And yes, more of that type of casting, people. More of that
Exactly.
type of casting.
2025, there's no excuse.
Yes, there's absolutely no excuse. So that is one of my two big gripes with this movie. We'll talk about the other one later. But if I were to take my feelings about that casting choice and just tuck it away and compartmentalize it for a minute, Fiona Dorff is incredible in this role. She kills it. She's fantastic. So that's our Nika Pierce. She's a wheelchair user in this gothic mansion. We also have her mom, Sarah Pierce. We have her sister, Barb. She's Nika's bitchy, moody sister. I kind of like her.
Of course you do.
I I hate her, but I like her. And then Ian is Barb's husband, and then they have their little their daughter
Dollar.
Alice. Yeah, their dollar. They
Yes.
have their daughter Alice, who is cute, but she to me is like the annoying kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? Do you know
Uh,
that brand of kid?
I yes, I believe I do.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I'm not an Alice fan. I know that's bitchy of me. I'm not an Alice fan at all. She doesn't wash her hands.
Oh,
Jill, we also have Jill, the hot young nanny, Father Martinez, the priest from the family church, and then, Officer Stanton, who's barely in it, but he's there. He's a character that we do need to know about. And then, of course, we have Chucky, our favorite little guy.
her favorite.
Murderous little bastard. So those are all of our characters. Very small cast, a very small ensemble, which I like. I know for me, I have so many questions at the beginning of this film. Why are we here? Who are these people? What's going on? Why is Chucky there? Why did he kill the mother? Like, there's so much that we are immediately assaulted with question wise in this plot.
Yeah, who are these people? what? That's the biggest question for me. Who are these people?
Who are you people?
Why are you
Yeah.
here? Why is he there? What's going on?
I will note that in this opening scene, we get a lot of, and this is a kind of a theme throughout the movie, but infantilizing of Nika
Yeah.
from her mother and later on her sister Barb. That whole conversation when the delivery guy was flirting with Nika and the mom was just like, "Oh, he's just being nice."
Yeah, it starts very quickly. Oh, you can't take care of yourself, and even to the point where she doesn't. The delivery guy you didn't mention, the hot delivery guy, who is there for 30 seconds and is flirting with Nika, he's legitimately making a move. And for her mother to just say, "Oh, he was just being nice," with the unspoken part being because you're in a wheelchair, it's just like you said, infantilizing. It's just so icky.
It's super icky, and I feel very bad for Nika. And it's not because she's in a chair; it's because she's surrounded by people who are not supportive. And we see that because Chucky shows up at this house, and later on that night, he kills Sarah, the mother. And first off, badass title sequence. How do you feel about this title sequence?
It's very, very cool. The title sequence that spins around. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
very
love how it plays with space. We see how Dawn's directing style has evolved since Seed of Chucky, which it's so much more mature, so much more finessed, more playful, I think. But then, yeah, back to the infantilizing. The second the family comes in through the door, and I think it's the next day, the family and the priest all come in, and immediately you just feel bad vibes from Barb and honestly from the priest, from pretty much everybody.
right. From everyone who walks in the door, you're immediately like, "Oh, this isn't going to go well for Nika."
Yeah, exactly. Barb is this rich bitch who wants to sell the house already. She wants to put Nika in some sort of assisted living home because she can't take care of herself. And then she wants to sell the house so she can send her daughter to private school. And the father is on board with this. The fucking priest is just like, she did have her heart set on that private school. And
Yeah.
it's just disgusting behavior.
What does she say? Something about if they don't, they need to sell the house because otherwise she's going to have to go to public school. And she says it. So, it's just, what a entitled, nasty bitch.
Absolutely. And she's very hypocritical too. Like, and I can't wait to get into that.
For sure.
Yeah. Alice finds Chucky, and then Chucky wants to know what's for dinner. So Nika goes to cook dinner, and more of Barb just being like, well, you can't do that. You can't cook dinner. Da 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 da. And Nika shows her what's up. She makes some bomb ass chili with oregano. It's the oregano.
I'm gonna say when they put the meals down in front of everybody on the table, I thought it was pasta, just by the way that it looked, and also oregano. So apparently it's actually chili. I don't know that I would like it.
I mean, I'm not a chili fan personally either, but everybody else likes it. Everybody loves this chili. But the thing with the chili, because Chucky is helping them, quote unquote, cook dinner. And we see just this little hand pour rat poison in one of the bowls on top of the cheese. So you can't really tell. And that's, I think, why it looked like pasta, because you have those mounds of cheese in the center of these
Yes,
dishes.
it looks like pasta to me. Maybe I'm just
I
so
get that.
Italian that everything looks like pasta.
Listen, if everything looked like pasta, that's not a bad world to live in. I'd be fine
I'd
with
be,
that.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, it does look like pasta. I do like, speaking of that scene where they put the dishes down in front of everybody, it is shot as if it's a game of Russian roulette. Like we have that overhead shot.
And we just see the hand setting the dishes down, and we don't know which one has the rat poison in it.
Yeah, because there's only one. Chucky ran out of time. He couldn't poison everybody. But I think, like, we all know, just because of how movies work, like, we know who's going to get the chili. We know who's going to get the rat poison.
Did you really? I wasn't sure. I was hoping it was Barb, but obviously because of how movies work, they couldn't kill her off too early.
No, we have to save that conflict for later.
Exactly.
We have who's the most expendable character out of everybody? The fucking priest.
Good point.
Father Martinez.
Father Martinez.
We all know it's gonna go to him. But the way this scene is shot, it is kind of playful because everybody is reacting so strongly to the chili. Ian's like, oh my god, this is so good, and da 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 da, and just constant fake outs of, oh, this person must have gotten it, this person must have gotten it. For me, that goes on a little bit too long. Do you feel that way?
It does. I mean, I think he's trying to obviously build tension, but you're right. It's a little bit because Alice starts saying that she doesn't like the chili or it tastes funny. That's what she says. It tastes funny. So now we're worried that the little girl has the poison chili. But again, not going to kill the little kid. Not first thing,
Not yet. Nope. I do love, though, when everybody is ranting and raving about the chili, how Barb is just like, Nika, can you pass the salt, please? So passive aggressive.
It is passive aggressive. Yep.
Oh, I fucking love it. And that, for me, that's a little moment where we realize, oh, Barb is probably low-key jealous of Nika. Or she has some sort of unresolved feelings.
There's definitely unresolved issues going on there. Barb needs a really good therapist.
She really does need a good therapist. She needs a really good therapist. She has a lot of projection and a lot of repression going on in this movie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like we said, the person that we know that's going to get that rat poison is, I hate saying he's hot because he is kind of hot, but I also don't like priests. But yeah, the hot priest gets the rat poison.
The hot priest gets the rat poison. There you go.
I was very curious about just this sudden appearance of a priest in the Chucky franchise, and later on in this series, how they really explore a Catholic setting. I just had to Google and find out if Don Mancini grew up religious. And as a matter of fact, he was raised Catholic. So that makes a lot of sense. I feel like this is when he starts to kind of work through some of that shit, because the way he kills this priest it's gnarly. Because it's not just poison everybody. It's not just like he drops dead from poison. It's pretty rough.
It's great. We see the priest eating the chili, and he starts to not feel well. He's pulling out his little priest collar and sweating and excuses himself kind of abruptly. It's awkward the way that he leaves. He tells everyone, I think he'll see them tomorrow at the funeral or something like that, and gets in his car and and leaves. And then what is the officer's name? Officer Stanford?
Stanton. We know that there's been a car accident, and Officer Stanton hops out of his car, and lo and behold, the priest has wrecked his car because he's dying of rat poison. He's trapped within the car, and the firefighters that are there don't want to remove him from the car because of the circumstances that he's in, and the officer demands that they free him from the trapped vehicle. And when they do that, his neck has been pinned down, and as soon as they remove the piece that's holding him basically together, his head slices off and falls down and rolls onto the floor. It's very cool. I'm so glad that they went that route, because like poisoning is fine. I think it was very playful in this setting with the dinner scene and everything, but just the satisfaction of seeing the aftermath, seeing the car accident on the way home, it's so gory. And it doesn't just kill the priest. There's two other people that were involved in the car accident that died. Like, you see their bodies on the side of the street.
Right. It's not just this off-screen death. He died of being poisoned or fell down on the floor and choked and died. We get a very gory, super cool first death second death, because Sarah, the mother, died. But we actually get to really see this, It's just like almost overkill. Like, we poisoned the man and now we've beheaded him, but it's overkill in a really delicious way.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a bait and switch, right? I think a lot about, like, Final Destination does this a lot, where you think that it's going to go one way and then it goes another way. So it was just a fun little surprise. And also, I guess it was a plot device because that police officer is going to come back later. So we needed to get to know him in like this first act or whatever.
Yes, it definitely is a moment to introduce that character.
Yes. And while the priest is dying, everybody is back home watching some family movies. I guess it's something that people normally do when someone dies. They watch home videos and recap and everything. But we find out, bum, 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 Charles Lee Ray is in one of these videos.
There he is, standing there with his long hair looking all creepy and out of place in this video.
Yes, very ratty wig. And that's coming from me. I'm like the queen of shitty wigs. My wigs are not that great.
He's got a shake and go wig. He's got his party
He
city.
really does.
Mhm.
His party city wig, exactly. Yeah, he's just lurking there in the background. So this is where we start to realize, oh, okay, Chucky must have a connection to this family. And they start leaving that trail of breadcrumbs for us. And then, oh, all this time, we have, because there's the hot young nanny, Jill, right?
Oh, right. We almost forgot about Jill.
She looks like a kind of like a combination of Amanda Seyfried and Leo Tipton. I feel like a lot of people in this movie look like combinations of people.
I don't know who Leo Tipton is off the top of my head.
They were on America's Next Top Model, and they left and they had this cute little acting career just afterwards in like the early teens. So they were in Crazy Stupid Love, they were in Warm Bodies. Very, very cute person.
I'm pulling up pictures right now.
Yes, Lio Tipton.
Oh, look at that. Okay, you're right.
Yes. Much like how the father Ian looks like a combination of Paul Rudd and Henry Cavill.
Well, I can see that.
Yeah, so these are all just like dollar store babes. That's a terribly disrespectful statement, but anyway, we are being kind of directed to believe that there's going to be some sort of infidelity between the hot young nanny and Ian. But we find out as Jill is helping look for Chucky, because I guess Chucky went missing, it's not Ian that's having the affair with her. No, 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 no.
What a shock. It's Barb. Barb is having the affair with the nanny. Wow, hot lesbian affair.
Hot, hypocritical lesbian affair, because
that's right.
We get so much of Barb playing with her little cross necklace and acting holier than thou because she's like a rich church bitch. It's very hypocritical, but I love that little subversion, that little bait and switch.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they kind of make it very obvious that Ian and the nanny are together or flirting or cheating or something like that. So when Barb confronts Jill and all of it just starts making out with her, just eats her face, I was like, whoa, I actually didn't see that coming. Very cool.
Yeah, me either. I loved it. I love a lesbian love affair, even with a bitch like Barb.
That's some of the best lesbian love affairs of my life were with bitches like Barb.
You know what? T. So after this, like Nika's going upstairs. She's investigating where this doll came from, like the package. But as she's going upstairs, the power goes out and she's stuck in the elevator. And Barb is mad bitchy about that too. Yeah. She's just like, oh, see, she always needs something. It's like, the power's out, girl.
Yeah, you bitch. Go help your sister.
Go help your fucking sister. And so when Barb goes to help her, we get a little bit more of that exposition dump of the thing with Nika's heart. I feel like it should be more consequential than it actually is.
It does come back once a little bit later, but when Chucky has her in the garage, so it is at least mentioned, although we don't really know what this condition is.
Yeah, it's just a condition, something with her heart. It's a plot device. It never comes back after that time in the garage. We get that little bit of an exposition dump. Oh, and then this is where more infantilizing happens because, when Nika was in the elevator, Chucky was on her lap, and I guess he like sliced her knee with a knife. Barb's just like, see, you did that cooking dinner. You can't take care of yourself. Meh, 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 meh.
Yeah, because Nika doesn't feel it, and is all of a sudden like, oh, bleeding, and there's blood, and so, yeah, Barb does the infantilizing thing again about how, like, you can't take care of yourself. Look what you did.
Yeah, I feel like she's just trying to build a case against Nika so that way she can sell the house. Like,
she can sell the house and put Nika away and just forget about her.
Exactly. When she puts Alice to bed, we get more Chucky perverting children. Not like okay, that's probably not the best phrasing.
Maybe fix that.
Yeah, we get a little bit more of a conversation seeing how Chucky is like fucking with these kids because Alice is just like Chucky says there is no God and all this morbid, bleak shit about death.
Yeah, he says something like, "We all die bleeding like stuck pigs," or something like that.
And it's all stormy and stuff. And so Alice goes under the covers, and I do love this moment because it's the first time we hear Chucky speak. But she's just like, Chucky, I'm scared. And he's like, you fucking better be.
Can we talk about this? Is it time to talk about Chucky's face?
You know what? Yeah, let's do it.
Chucky has been not redesigned entirely, but his face looks different than we've seen it in all the previous movies. And I don't like it.
I I don't hate it. I because it's not too far of a departure from the original one. I think it's modernized and it feels smaller, right?
I don't know. His eyes seem much further away than they used to be, almost too far, which is funny because later he kills someone and says that their eyes are too close together. But
That's funny.
yeah, his I don't know. There's just too much space on the bridge of his nose. That's just very. I'm being very nitpicky. It's like you said. It's not a very far departure from what he's always looked like. But it looks so different that I had to readjust my expectations of what Chucky looks like for the whole film. You know.
Yeah, I agree, and it's a polarizing thing. Yeah, actually, I don't know how I feel about it anymore.
Oh no.
I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm falling into a crisis on this.
I
Um,
think people either, were fine with it and hardly noticed it or really were upset about it. And I don't fall to either of those.
Honestly, same. I like it when things get changed up. I love new tones. I love new exploration. All that stuff. It's fantastic. So I don't. I'll be honest. Actually, I don't have a preference either way when it comes to Chucky.
Mhm.
The only preference I would have is that I think of all of the Chucky designs, I think Franken Chucky is the best one
Yes.
from Bride and Seed. Like that's the best version of Chucky, but I don't have an attachment really to how he looks.
Something about his face was unsettling to me. It was very uncanny valley, which like he's a doll. That's the point. So maybe it's a good thing.
I was gonna say I feel like that is the point with this.
Mhm.
I 100% feel like that's the point. And if it makes you feel unsettled, then job well done.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Don.
Good job, Don.
Speaking of Chucky and speaking of the lesbian affair, we're gonna tie this all together here. So we have Jill, the hot young nanny, is sleeping in the same room as Chucky and Alice, and Barb, the bitchy wife, is sitting next to her sleeping husband in bed, and she's trying to cyber with Jill.
Well, yes, she's got her laptop open and is quietly watching Jill take her clothes off.
The
Her
gall.
gall, I mean, as you do.
She takes her ring off, and again, she's playing with that fuck ass cross necklace, the hypocrite bitch. Sorry.
Tell us how you really feel.
Listen, I love her, but damn, if there's one thing that gets under my skin, it's hypocrisy. That's kind of my thing. Especially, and I feel like I'm going to say it, the institution of religion is one of the most hypocritical things on this planet. And Barb is just an extension of that.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
Or on the hand.
Or on the hands.
Or the foot.
Or the face to fall out the window.
There we go.
Ugh, Marty Maraschino.
Marty.
Miss Marty.
Mhm.
I will say, like, I don't know who any of these people are. I'm a Gemini. I'm messy. I love all of the family drama. But I still very much miss Mama Karen and Marty Maraschino and Kyle, our OGs.
Mhm.
This family doesn't hold a candle to any of them.
Oh, very true. Very true.
But yeah, so Barb and the hot nanny are trying to cybersex. All the while, Nika is on her little laptop downstairs doing her research, and she finds out that the doll was sent from an evidence depository. While this happens, Chucky fucking kills the hot nanny because it's raining, right?
Uh-huh.
And the roof is leaking. And honestly, not to victim blame here, but she had it coming because the pot that was catching all of the water, how on earth it was almost full
It
when she
was
walked
almost
into that
full.
room.
You have to do something about that.
You cannot go to sleep with a bucket that full and a leaky roof and not expect it to get everywhere,
It's true.
right?
She had it coming.
Chucky kicks that fucking bucket over and woo child. Electrocution.
Yeah, we get a very fun electrocuting death.
Fun is definitely the right word for it, because electrocutions is one of those things where I think in some movies it's a lazy plot device, to make the power go out, or it's just an easy way to kill somebody. But this one, we see her smoking, we see her body twitching, her eye burning out of its socket. Like, it's very well done.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool death.
And then, of course, the power goes out. So,
Again, the power in this house is unreliable.
yes. And there's like this little confrontation between Ian and Barb, where Barb is just like, I see the way that you look at the nanny. And Ian is just like, ditto. And I'm like, ooh,
Gotcha.
get her, bitch.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
And this
Gotcha.
This is when we find out that Ian, has suspicions about his wife and Jill. And so what did he do? He put a nanny cam into the doll, into Chucky.
Yes. Which, again, I love that. But I'm also like, how stupid are you? You tell her that there's a nanny cam in the doll.
Right.
And then you just put in your earplugs and go back to sleep. Like, you're just like, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to let you have that information and do with it what you will.
It's true.
He's not afraid of her sabotaging it or any. I mean, I guess if it goes on the cloud, it doesn't matter, but still, he has a lot of faith in her not destroying anything.
It's true. It's true. I mean, he does give away his secret, but he gives it away so that we, the audience, can be in on it. So not lazy storytelling. It has to be made very apparent for the people who are watching it.
And it gives Barb a reason to go interact with Chucky, because now she's looking for him, and she finds him in the attic. Oh God, yeah, the fucking attic. Those sunflower paintings. I have a very strong reaction to those fucking sunflowers.
Do you?
It makes me think of the other thing that I don't like about this movie. So we're gonna get there soon, everybody.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you probably don't like this either.
I probably don't.
Yes, but yeah, Babs goes in the attic. There's fucking sunflower paintings everywhere. She finds Chucky, and Chucky stabs the fuck out of her. And this is where the eyes too close together thing that you mentioned comes into play.
Yeah, it's a Chucky one-liner, and I'm like, but your eyes are too far apart.
Oh, it's too close together. Stab. Oh, also, we have a face reveal from Chucky, Frank and Chucky.
Oh, right, Frank and Chucky.
Because Barb, I guess this is confusing.
There's he's got like a little makeup blemish on his face. Barb notices it, so she kind of picks at it, and when she does so, she, removes the top layer, and it's all the stitches that we've seen on Chucky's face before. So we get his actual face. What were you going to say about it? There's something.
Well, first off, I'm going to say, that's very much my face after a full day in drag. That's peeling off the layers for the cracked. Yeah, I find it very confusing. Yes, we're watching a movie about a killer doll. Disbelief is already suspended, but I'm also just having a hard time believing that he successfully and seamlessly covered up all that shit for that long. It just doesn't seem real.
That's what gets you.
That's what gets me. I'm like, killer doll, fine, but I draw the line at prosthetics like that lasting over a day, and seamlessly so.
It does look good. He's done a good job. Whoever did his makeup did a good job.
I know. Do you think Tiffany did his makeup?
That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, come on.
I think so too. Of course, Tiffany is just so talented. Oh, but before this happens, we forgot to talk about. There's one more confrontation between Barb and Nika when Barb is trying to find Chucky, and Nika's downstairs and the power's out, so Nika can't go upstairs to actually talk to Barb. But Nika's like, get the fuck away from that doll. And Barb is just like, yeah, I know. Why didn't you tell me? And so Barb thinks that Nika is talking about the hidden camera when Nika is actually just trying to be like, no, that doll's gonna fucking kill you. What are you talking about? Because she pieces it together by now.
She's figured out.
Yeah. She does the obligatory hot girl research montage
on the internet
every
search.
Horror movie that we have.
Yeah, she pulls her
on the internet.
The internet search. Yes.
Yes. This is where I think Barb's anger, resentment, and repression really comes out, because she fucking goes off on Nika, and you can tell that she feels some type of way because Nika probably got special treatment when they were kids, and she's just full on resents her now at this point.
Yeah, she's pretty nasty.
But yeah, so Nika, first off, badassly drags herself upstairs,
Mhm.
but she doesn't get there in time, unfortunately. Babs dies.
Babs.
Barb, Babs, Barbie, whatever.
Whatever.
She dies, and we get this very, very CG Chucky walking down the stairs.
Yes, this is how does he do it? This is a
It's
moment where we definitely can see that perhaps the budget isn't quite the same.
Yeah, I missed the puppet on this one, but you
Mhm.
know what? You got to do what you got to do. It's
Absolutely.
fine. And so I don't exactly remember. I guess the detail doesn't matter. Nika has a spare wheelchair upstairs. She goes and she wakes up Ian, and Ian finds all the bodies and carries Nika downstairs into the garage. And then he goes to find Alice, I believe. And then that's when Chucky comes into the garage, and then that heart thing happens.
The hard thing happens. Yes, Chucky tries to kill Nika by turning on the vehicle that's in the garage and, wants to kill her with, I guess, carbon monoxide. Ian comes running back to the garage and Nika starts to have some kind of episode. And she's asking Ian to inject her with something, and he's refusing. And is he refusing because he thinks that Nika had something to do with these deaths or the disappearance?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sus. She's sitting there with an axe in a broken car window, and he found all of these dead bodies and stuff. So it's like, I get it. I wouldn't let her. I mean, she doesn't die, but
She doesn't
it's
die.
a very intense situation, and he just like lets her.
Pass out.
Yeah,
Yeah, she loses consciousness. So we still don't know what the heart issue is, but it does come back.
yes, it comes back. That's the only time it comes back. She passes out, and then she wakes up upstairs, taped to her wheelchair, with Ian looking up the nanny cam footage because he's trying to find out who killed all these bitches and stuff. Oh, he's also trying to find out where Alice is too, I think.
Yeah,
'cause
we
he
haven't
hasn't
seen
found
the
her
kid.
yet.
We don't know where the kid is.
I think Chucky like locked her in a closet or something. I think we see that on the nanny cam footage. He says something like "shut the fuck up" or something, and she's like, "Chucky, don't curse like that." But yeah, we get the real life nanny cam footage. Ian ends up getting killed, of course, with an axe to the fucking jaw.
Oh yeah, he cuts
Which
his
is-
jaw off.
And then this is when Nika gets the axe to the knee
Man.
because Chucky's rushing towards her, and she tilts back so that way her legs
Her leg
get
will
that
get
brunt.
hit. Right.
And then we get this really beautiful shot of Chucky pushing Nika over the not over, through the banister down to the first floor again when she flips and she falls down. I think that's a beautiful shot.
It's very cool.
And then this is where we find out why Chucky is here.
Right. We finally get the information as to why Charles Lee Ray was at the party and what the connection is with his family.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so here we are. Okay. Tell me
Here we
your
are.
feelings about this.
I fucking hate this so much.
Do you?
So much. Yes. So everybody, here's what happens. I guess Chucky was obsessed with Nika's mom, Sarah, killed her husband,
Mhm.
and kidnapped her while she was pregnant with Nika. And this whole thing is in black and white, mind you, except for the fucking sunflowers. Those are yellow. And I just hate it because it makes Charles Lee Ray look. It takes away his power. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he was so obsessed with this woman, and this is what leads to him getting shot in Chicago, getting shot in that toy store, because he has her kidnapped, and the police show up. It immediately cuts to footage of him running into the toy store from the first movie.
Right. We know now
I'm sorry.
you don't like it.
What happened to Eddie Caputo? Huh?
Yeah.
The most important person in this whole series. What the fuck happened to Eddie
right.
Caputo?
Where's Eddie Caputo? You're right.
I just don't. I don't like it. I more than don't like it. I hate it. I do no. I pretend that this doesn't exist. When I think about the Chucky franchise, like this whole thing, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. It does take some of the power of him away. It makes him desperate. And I don't want to say you don't pity him, but it's just not what he started out to be. He's this powerful, I don't know if you call him a shaman or what, but he's obviously got some kind of power. And instead he ends up obsessed with this lady, trying to make a little family with her. And when she gets the cops involved, he stabs her. And that's how Nika ends up being paralyzed, is from him doing this to Sarah while she's pregnant. And then, yeah, he runs off and jumps into the toy store, and we see, that there's that shootout, and it does get rid of Eddie Caputo and just kind of change the lore a little bit.
Yeah. You know what? I think it gives him some incel vibes.
Yes. Oh,
That's what it is.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what it is that I don't like about it. It makes Charles Lee Ray an incel, and I don't think that way about him. I feel like he could be very charming.
Mhm.
I feel like he knows how to work with people. So I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like it at
he's
all.
a creepy murderer, but he's charismatic and can get any woman that he wanted to.
Exactly, which we do see later on in the TV series. So I don't know. I pretend that this doesn't exist, so we can move on. We can totally move
Oh
on.
yeah, from that part that didn't even happen.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I do feel like I had another point to make though. Hold on. Did I have another point to make? Oh, yes. I do like though that he does kind of like throw back I don't know if I would call this an Easter egg, but he's just like, a lot of families have come and gone. The Barclays, the Kincaids, the Tillys,
The
but your
Tillies.
family has always been my favorite. And I like that it's like that little line just makes me remember, oh shit, this whole thing has spanned almost, well, I guess at this point 20
Mhm.
years, and or it's like 25 years at this point. So I love that it's just like generations of families that he has fucked with. I think that's kind of
I
cool.
like your Chucky voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know where it came from. But what I also like, this is where, because earlier when Nika's flirting with the delivery guy, there's this cheeky line where she was like, I guess she was going to school for psychology or something, and she dropped out and she was like, yeah, I never finished my thesis on completion anxiety, which is in
Completionist.
itself really funny. But that pays off here because she starts reading Chucky to Phil. She's like, you never killed Andy, did you? Da 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 da. It's called completion anxiety. It's really common in males, and she pisses Chucky off so much, and I fucking love it so much.
Yeah, she really gives him a hard time for not never killing Andy Barkley and taking so long to track her down.
Oh, because he gets pissed off, and he's just like, "I'm gonna kill you so slowly," and she's like, "Yeah, 25 years is probably the slowest murder in history." See, this is why I love Nika for like she's so sassy and smart and so fucking fun.
Yeah, she's
And Fiona does a great job with this.
oh yeah, she's so pretty too. Can I just say that? She's so pretty. Oh, she got great
Please say
hair.
that.
God, she's beautiful.
Please talk about how pretty she is, because she is.
Mhm.
She is gorgeous. Again, a wonderful addition to the Chucky canon.
And now I'm really these people that you're like, who the hell are these people? Why are they here? Why are we watching these people in this house? Now it's like, oh, I'm really glad that I met Nika. She's a great character.
Exactly. I don't care about the other people. I'm actually happy that they died
Yeah.
for the most
Who
part.
cares? None of them.
I mean,
None of them are memorable.
yeah, that's fair. I think the only person is like Jill was trying to convince Barb to lighten up on Nika a bit for a minute. She was like, "You don't have to sell the house; we'll be fine." But beyond that, everyone else was just kind of a shitty.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about the fact that Jill was like also cheating with
It's fair.
Barb.
She was the other woman.
Like, exactly. She was the mistress. Nobody in that family was ideal. And the little girl is still missing, so who cares?
Thank God. Sorry. When power comes back on, she gets into the elevator and like is holding the thing closed while Chucky's trying to kill her. And then the officer shows up and Chucky just goes and parks himself in the corner, and shit does not look good for Nika
Nika's holding
at
a
all.
knife.
When
Yeah. She's covered in blood and she's holding a knife.
and everyone's dead. And this is where we get into a Lord of the Rings Return of the King type never-ending ending
I see.
of this movie.
Mhm. Right. It could have been over then. Right. Lord of the Rings has
Yes.
like 16 endings.
Yes, this one has like 5 because it could have ended there, and then we have the courtroom scene where Nika gets sentenced to an asylum for the criminally insane for all of this murder. And I love how they have all of the evidence lined up. They have rat poison, and then Chucky is there, and she's like screaming at him. She's like, "I'm alive, you fucker."
Not
And
doing
you're like,
herself
okay.
any favors when it comes to looking sane.
No, not at all. And so you think, okay, this is where the movie could end. But alas, no. We have Officer Stanton, who is literally recycling word for word the conversation that the officer in Bride of Chucky had with, "Hey, I'm on my way. Don't forget my money," because he's delivering Chucky to Tiffany, and he gets killed
Thank
by
God.
Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
Mhm.
We've missed you. Welcome
Hi,
back.
Tiffany. I know. I know. She's again just such a babe. I love her hair in this. It's very like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like a cute little like boop.
A cute little boot is
Mhm.
perfect.
And then, okay, so that happens, and you're like, okay, this is certainly where the movie ends. Because it ends on a shot that feels like an ending where it's from the perspective inside of the bag, and we see Tiffany's face, and she's like, okay, who's next? And she closes it up, pitch black. And you're like, okay, that's the end of the movie. Nope.
There's more.
First, we see Tiffany going to deliver the doll somewhere, to deliver Chucky. And then we end up at Alice's house and Chucky is there. He killed her grandmother and he wants to play hide the soul.
Hide the soul.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And this one, presumably, he succeeds as far as we know at this point
Right.
because he's doing the thing and the camera pans and then we see the dead grandmother jump scare the camera
Right.
and then we go into credits. But wait, there's more.
The movie's not
There's
over.
more. The movie's not over. We have a post-credit sequence, and this I'm fine with because this is what I needed. You saw the post-credit sequence,
Oh
right?
yeah, this was pretty cool. This is like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm here for this.
yeah. Chucky, we finally see a familiar face. We see live and grown Andy Barkley, role reprised by Alex Vincent,
How
the
cool.
OG Andy Barkley. This is such a wonderful little treat. Chucky goes to Andy to finish the job, but Andy knows he's coming and he has a shotgun and Chucky's just like, Andy. And that's it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
over.
it. Yeah, how cool for Alex Vincent to have gotten that phone call from his agent that was like, "Hey, you want to come back and play Eddie Barkley again? 20 something years after having done it." Oh, that just must have been so cool. I would have been like, "Uh-huh, yes, of course I want to come back. Thank you."
Yeah, I fucking love that they made that call. It's so good. And it sets us up for what's to come in the next movie. And I think that kind of put him in the mindset of treating Chucky more like a TV series where you have all of these plots kind of weaving in and out of each other. And I feel like this movie is kind of when that seed starts to get planted cuz there's cliffhangers and these little things that are going to be carried over to the next movie and ultimately we do get a TV series out of it, and I kind of dig it. I like this never-ending Chucky.
Never ending Chucky. Yeah, yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean that it does kind of suddenly seem like it's more structured like a TV show.
Yes. So that's Curse of Chucky, everybody.
It's
That's
Curse of
Brad
Chucky.
Dorff's favorite Chucky movie.
Yeah,
Um,
I bet you it is because he gets to work with his kid.
it has to be. How do you feel about this movie, Donnie? I want to hear your overall thought.
When I first watched it, I was disappointed because I was so invested in the campy. The last two movies were just so right up my alley. The horror comedy. When it's done well, like it's done in this series, so I was just so excited to see the continuation of that, and then to have taken such a far step away from it. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's okay. I think it's my least favorite in the series. And then I just rewatched it a few days ago. And when you're watching the movie just in and of itself, it's actually a really good film. It's a really good movie. The only thing that I was disappointed in was because I had expectations that it was going to be different. So, do I love the movie? I think it sits well by itself. And in fact, you could watch it without really having seen any of the other ones and still stick with it pretty well. Is it my favorite? No, it's not. It's probably my second to last favorite. No, that's not true. It's probably number 5. No, that's not true. I have mixed feelings about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Similarly, I have like mixed feelings about it, but it's the opposite direction
Okay.
of what you experienced. Because when I first watched it, I was like, "Oh, this is fun. This is a great tonal shift. I like the style. I like that it's a more intimate kind of gig." But then the more I sat with it and viewed it in this universe that has been built for Chucky, just comparatively, it doesn't stand up to a lot of the other movies. And I think it's really hard for me to get past that one big thing that I do not like about this movie,
That you're not going to mention again.
that I'm not going to mention again. I just have to mention it now. Um, I remove that part, and my feelings towards this movie increase a lot more. But it would not be 100% honest of me to talk about this movie without acknowledging the movie as a whole. So I I think it's a great step in the franchise, and I think it sets us up to go to some really great places, but it's not my favorite of the franchise either. I appreciate it as its own film, but in the franchise, not my favorite.
That's exactly it. Like as its own film is cool, but when it exists in the world of Chucky, that's what it just seems like a wedging a square peg into a round hole for me.
But I do love that it still maintains its queer roots.
Certainly
I
does.
think that that's fantastic. I love that it's not subtext. We have just straight up queer characters in this film, lesbian characters nonetheless, which
Yes.
I don't think at this point have we really had any?
No.
Like nothing explicitly. No.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just so nice to see lesbians too, because they just appear so infrequently in media, especially in 2013.
Yeah, and especially in a way that's not extremely painted for the male gaze, where it's like they're lesbians and they're hot and they're making out for these guys. It's like, no, these are lesbians that are lesbians for the sake of being lesbians for each
Exactly.
other. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So I agree with you there. Just having a different part of the queer community represented in this movie. And I also just like that there's, of course, with the infidelity and like the lesbian love affair is like one thing, but I do feel like Chucky as his own entity kind of is a representation of the perversion of family values from the 80s, and just seeing that manifest itself even further in these films, I kind of like it.
Yeah, he is a perversion of family values.
hmm
And we've gotten to watch things change around Chucky, but Chucky stays the same. And that's really interesting.
Beautiful. Do you have I sometimes I ask if you have a favorite set piece, but we only have
The one
one
set
set
piece.
piece in this movie.
And
Yeah.
it's lovely. It's
But
such a
it's
cool house.
wonderful.
Yeah. And I think if I had to pick
Yeah.
a favorite set piece of the house, it's that amazing elevator, the big wrought iron elevator.
It's so cunty. Yes. I'm with you there. I love the elevator. How about favorite kill? Do you have a favorite kill from this movie?
I really appreciate the electrocution. And it's something about that eye, her eye bulging out and it's all burned around her face and all the smoke coming off of her. I really like that. And I do like the priest's death, but I think my favorite overall, the way that it's executed and shown, is the electrocution.
Executed.
Execution. Electrocution.
Well, I to your point, I do like how it's shot because it feels more grounded. Because with electrocutions in horror movies, oftentimes you just get somebody like whoa,
Right.
but that's not really what happens. And I think that was scary. It was really unnerving to see. So I get it. For me, it is the priest.
Mhm.
It was a toss up. Same boat as you. It was a toss up between the electrocution and the priest. I like the priest a lot. I think the whole sequence at dinner I think is really fun. I like the unexpected aftermath of him getting poisoned. I just think it's really cool.
His
I think
death
it's
is cool.
really
It's
cool.
fun to watch.
All right. Now, I'm going to bring up some results from an audience thing. And we talked about this already. You brought it up, Chucky's redesign and how you felt about it. I threw a poll up on Instagram and I asked my followers how they felt about Chucky's redesign. I asked if they thought it was an all stars glow up or if they thought it was botched. And 75% said botched. So, and I'm pretty sure you responded that as well. Right?
I was part of that 75%. Yes.
Yeah, people really don't like this Chucky redesign. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at the photos of them side by side, I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
Yeah. To me, it seemed unnecessary.
To each their own. There's people out there that dig the redesign, and good for you. I think maybe it is the uncanny valley of it all. It's, modernizing his look. Because American Girl dolls, it's kind of more in line with those dolls now versus the Cabbage Patch Kids. So it makes sense.
I see. I don't know much about
I
American
just-
Girl dolls. Does he look similar to them? You're right. He looks
A
much
little-
less like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like that, the American Girl dolls. Very nondescript, but still some human-esque. It's like a blank human canvas almost
Yes.
in miniature form. It's kind of creepy.
Okay.
Do you have any final things to say about Curse of Chucky?
For me, the thing that just continues to run in my head is just that tonal shift. And it is cool to see the growth that Don Mancini has had as a director. He's more, I guess, more grounded now, and it's very, very noticeable in this movie.
Yeah, he's finessed a lot of his skills, I think.
Yes.
It's a lot smoother, a lot more playful and creative. I agree with you
A
100%.
word that keeps coming up when I'm thinking about this movie is nuance. There's so much nuance in the movie. There's nuance in Fiona Dorff's performance. It's not in your face. It's there's more subtle subtext, nuance, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. And we've said it a million times. I'm just going to say it again one final time. Fiona Dorff, wonderful addition to Chucky. I'm so glad you're here, Fiona. So glad. And I'm so excited to see what she does in Cult of Chucky. I think, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Nika Pierce in the next movie, everybody. Donnie, where can our listeners find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram, the Donnie Cianciato. It's the word Donnie, Donnie, and then my last name, which is Cianciotto.
And of course, you can find me, CryBaby, on the Instagram at Cryin in public. So that's Cryin without the G _in _public. And of course, follow Horror Icon. That's WHORROR Icon Pod on the Instagram. And we'll see you again soon, cuties. We'll see you next week for Cult of Chucky. And until then, don't be scared. Unless you're into that sort of thing. Bye.
Bye.